Bethesda have made a whole lot of mistakes when it comes to Fallout 76, but now they may actually be doing something right for once. My name's Henry Cooper, this is Gareth Evans, and let's try to say something nice about a game that everyone hates. In the laundry list of video game controversies, few have trumped up quite as many as Fallout 76. There was the buggy quote-unquote beta, sketchy pre-orders before the game was even revealed to be an MMO, and even the Nuka Rum debacle. And most of all, let's not forget the curious case of the canvas bag, an event dubbed by gamers as Baggate or the Caduffle. But if you can't remember, the £170.99 Power Armor edition of Fallout 76 came with a number of extras, including a Power Armor helmet and, more interestingly, a canvas duffel bag. Only it wasn't high quality canvas, it was cheap nylon. Long story short, people weren't happy, some people got lawyers involved, and Bethesda did nothing. They even managed to leak information about everyone who requested a replacement back in December. But then in May, Bethesda assured buyers that they were finalizing manufacturing plans for replacement canvas bags. And now, 7 months after launch, the canvas bags are actually made of canvas. The bags, which were apparently too expensive to make at the time, have now been shipped to those who complained. And it actually looks like people are happy this time. The bags have even been described as very nice. A true canvas bag, and much better overall. Who can argue with such stellar reviews? One poster on Reddit even went so far as to say the new bag was pretty damn decent, a significant improvement, and it feels good. At least you can enjoy the bag more than the game itself, which currently averages between 53 and 49 on Metacritic. So after all the drama with the canvas bag and every other problem under the sun that Fallout 76 has had, they've actually gone and done the canvas bags properly 7 months after the game actually came out.
Yeah, it's kind of like parallel with the game itself. The game was in such a bad state at launch, and they're fixing it up now. Apparently they're bringing human NPCs to it eventually, and it's the same thing. It's like, why didn't they do this in the first place? If they'd done this on day one, people wouldn't have been upset with the game. They would have been happy with the limited edition, collector's edition, wherever it is, wherever they spent their 180 quid on. Everyone would have been happy if only they'd have delivered it at launch, but no, this is the way they do things these days. And it's like, you think back to No Man's Sky and how that panned at launch, but now everyone's praising Hello Games. It's like, oh, they're doing the best, some of the best work in the industry now. They're doing this game and they're not charging a subscription for it. It's awesome. And the bad thing about that, although that's great, right? It's great for the players, it's great for the community. Even the community bought like a billboard outside their office recently to like thank them for whatever. And that game's going from strength to strength. The bad thing about that is that everyone else can look at No Man's Sky and think, well, that game launched like shit and got away with it. Why can't we do the same? And that's exactly the same as what Anthem have done, Fallout 76 have done it, and who knows who else in future are going to be like, well, they got away with murder, why can't we?
But the thing that makes Hello Games different is they actually did the work, and they've earned what they've reclaimed. They've reclaimed, favor with the fans. I don't feel like EA and BioWare are going to really do that with Anthem. I'm not convinced Bethesda are going to do it with Fallout 76. But hey, at least you can get a bag now. A real bag that the reviews speak for themselves. It's very nice. A significant improvement. Very nice bag.
You know Tim Minchin?
Yeah.
He does a song. It's a while ago. Take your canvas bags to the supermarket or something. Do you remember that one?
No.
Classic. Absolutely classic. I won't sing it. I'm not going to sing it. And so it's about time we did some news nuggets. It's been a while. So enjoy. The one statement most synonymous with the Pokemon franchise is undeniably, gotta catch 'em all. However, it looks like this may not be true with the upcoming Pokemon Sword and Shield. The game has over 1,000 Pokemon, but interestingly doesn't include every single one ever. It's understandable that creating over 1,000 unique and functional Pokemon is a hell of a task, but gotta catch some of them doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
One of the most frustrating but understandable things about Red Dead Redemption 2's realistic approach is that your horse has to be close by at all times for you to whistle for it. In CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, this won't be a problem, as you'll be able to summon your car from anywhere. This is explained in the game's lore by saying that your car or bike will be outfitted with an AI system that can drive itself to you.
In case you hadn't been to the cesspool of outrage that is Twitter recently, CD Projekt Red have bizarrely been accused of transphobia for featuring a certain in-game advertisement. Despite that ridiculous accusation, which completely ignores what the advert means in the context of the game's canon, it has now been revealed that Cyberpunk 2077's character creator will give players players the option to play as a non-binary character. Quest director Mathias Kranawetter explained that they want to give the players as many options of customization in the beginning of the game as we can, and that the idea is to mix all of those options up to give them to the players as they would like to build it.
The next big game on the calendar for Sony is Dreams by Media Molecule. The game is currently in early access and has just hit over 100,000 users. This was figured out by Reddit user TMF Wang, who realized that one of Media Molecule's official in-game accounts has reached 100,000 followers.
Just like so many video game publishers these days, Nintendo have gradually been moving into the mobile game market. Their latest addition to the platform will be a new Dr. Mario title, Dr. Mario World, and it will release on July the 10th. The gameplay looks to be following the traditional Dr. Mario formula, but expect it to be sick with your typical mobile game microtransaction bullshit.
Amazon Game Studios, who are only just trying to get their foot in the door of the games industry, have already announced layoffs. It is reported that dozens of employees have been given 60 days to find new work within the wider Amazon company, with a promise of a severance package if they fail to find new jobs. This isn't the first time we've heard about layoffs in the games industry over the last 12 months, and it probably won't be the last.
One of Red Dead Redemption 2's strongest aspects is its soundtrack. On July the 12th, fans will be able to listen to the music of Red Dead Redemption 2 original soundtrack, which features original songs written for the game. Reportedly, the original score for the game, composed by Woody Jackson, will be released as a separate album later this summer.
It's hard to imagine anyone trying to stop the juggernaut that is Fortnite, but reportedly the former director of Epic Games tried to cancel the game before it even launched. Rod Ferguson, now at the Coalition, said, "That game would not have passed my bar." Instead of feeling bad about leaving the company before the release of one of the biggest games in the world, he says people should feel good because that game you love, that worldwide sensation, would not exist had I stayed at Epic.
What's that got to say about his quality standards, right? Quality standards don't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best, most profitable game in the industry, and he wouldn't have released it. Maybe he should ease up on his standards a little bit.
I mean, you can say Fortnite's a good game or a bad game, but one thing's for sure, it makes a whole lot of money.
Wolfenstein Youngblood is the next game in the series, which is due to be released sometime before the end of this year. According to Machine Games executive producer Jörg Gustafsson, the game will be the biggest in the franchise to date, boasting a 25 to 30 hour long playtime if you play through everything. This is due to level progression and the non-linear narrative, which gives them the ability to add lots of activities and missions. Thanks, Jörg.
Microsoft's partner director of program management Jason Ronald said recently, "We understand what reasonable price points are for a console and kind of what customers expect about that." This comes after industry analyst Michael Pachter suggested that the console codenamed Xbox Scarlet could be priced at $399, anticipating that Microsoft would sell it at a per unit loss. The spec suggests $500 or so, said Pachter, but my bias is that Microsoft will announce $399 and Sony will follow suit. So that's it for our daily nuggets today. You can check out anything we've covered as well as the slightly bigger stories down in the description below. And now, after the return of the nuggets, it's time for the return of the bad dad joke. And for those of you who don't know, these jokes come from our Discord channel, which you can get access to if you become a patron over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. You'll also get early access to our podcast, which is great, and it's just for as little as $1, so go on, consider it. It's well worth it.
Oh, this one's made me laugh. So thanks to Two Shot Tina for this joke. And he says, "I won my first cage fight earlier this week. The budgie never knew what hit it." Thanks very much, dude. Thanks for your contribution to the Bad Dad Jokes channel over on the Patreon Discord. Much respect. Jedi Fallen Order gameplay was shown off by Respawn recently at EA Play. We were treated to 13 whole minutes of gameplay footage that was streamed to the public, which showed off some lightsaber action, environmental puzzles, and force moves. Judging from what was shown, you might get the impression that Fallen Order is more of a linear game, similar in structure to the Uncharted games, or maybe the recent God of War. However, attendees at the EA Play event were treated to an extra 12 minutes of gameplay, which paints the game as more of a Sekiro meets Metroid game. IGN's Ryan McCaffrey, who actually got hands-on with the demo, described the physical structure of the game world more like KOTOR. Definitely not open world, but not linear either. Others who got to see the extended gameplay described how you can travel from planet to planet at will. There are some areas on each planet which you will not be able to access until you get specific upgrades or abilities, much like in Metroid Prime, which was described as an inspiration for the title. There are also non-combat areas where you will be walking around and conversing with NPCs, and you will also be able to to walk around your ship and talk to crewmates. Also, according to information detailed on the Giant Bomb podcast, you will be able to save your game by kneeling at meditation shrines, just like in the recent Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Enemies will also respawn when you save, just like in the From Software game. It is doubtful that Fallen Order will be as difficult or as punishing as the Soulsborne games usually are, which is probably for the best. Another interesting snippet to surface about Fallen Order, again from IGN's Ryan McCaffrey, was that there will be no dismemberment of human enemies in the game because Lucasfilm said so. Ryan said, "I asked one of the lead designers and it was a Lucas brand thing." Brendan Kelch, lead designer on the game, said, "We kind of used the films as reference, and working with Disney, it's like, it's used as powerful moments and like kind of critical things, so we'll use it in a similar way. So, although you won't be able to lop off limbs of the human enemies, you will still be able to dismember droids, so there is that." I mean, are you a Jedi if you can't chop off somebody's arm or just chop them in half or chop their heads off? Are you really a Jedi? I want it to be a Jedi, damn it.
Yeah, I want to be chopping fools up, But it's not game breaking for me. But like, I'll still probably enjoy it if it's, because it does look good. But Dismember, it's just fun. And remember in the original when Ben Kenobi lops off the guy's arm, you see it drop to the floor and there's like blood everywhere. It's gross.
There's a suggestion that it might be used in certain scenes if you've got a boss fight or something and there's a cut scene at the end of it, like somebody's arm might be flying. So prepare to see it then. But there's just something about the aesthetic of being able to have all that power and just like chop stormtroopers in half and like chop their arms and legs off. There's just something that would be so satisfying about that, which I guess they're missing out on because Lucasfilm said so, because Disney, that's what Disney want, isn't it?
Yeah, well the thing about a lightsaber is it can cut through anything, other than another lightsaber and then a handful of other things. It's what makes it different to like a sword or a club. In other games where you whack them and they just go,
can cut through anything apart from this list of things.
Your entire catalogue of stormtroopers now.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how I feel about enemies respawning after you save. Does that really work? I mean, it's kind of a narrative-based game, right? It's not fantastical, really. Is it? It's not fantasy. It's sci-fi, but it's not fantasy.
And I guess if they're trying to use that as a way to grind like you do in Souls games, so enemies respawn, then you kill them again, then you go save, and they come back to drum up experience points. I guess that's a mechanic they're probably going for, but you're right, it doesn't necessarily make sense in Star Wars universe.
They might use it because people are familiar with it and it's similar to other things, but I very much doubt it's going to be as grinding and grueling and punishing as the Soulsborne games, because getting to your next shrine or next save point is a big achievement in those games, and judging by the gameplay, it doesn't look like you're ever going to get your arse handed to you or anything like that while you're playing the game. It's just going to be something that's there as a kind of dressing rather than actual anything meaningful to the gameplay as such. I mean, if it makes it more enjoyable because you get to kill the enemies twice because it's so fun to kill the enemies, if only you had something like dismembering, it'd make it even more fun.
I do really like the sound of it being like Metroid, because the best thing about the Metroidvania style of things is that you go to an area, I can't open this door, I've got to go find something, a few hours into the game, come back and I can do it. Such a natural form of progression, and I always like that in games, having to come back to the area and discover something new instead of just retreading old ground.
And it's surprising that they didn't lead or didn't disclose this information during the EA Play streams, because having this information having surfaced after the fact, people are like, well, I'm a lot more interested in this game now because it's not just a linear game where you play mission level after level, and there's more choice involved and it's more open. So I don't know if they're just missing the fact that appeals to the gamers, or they just it was just an oversight on their behalf, but they definitely missed the trick there today.
So that's it from us today for your Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday news roundup. We'll be back again tomorrow. If you like what you see and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell so you get all the notifications. Drop us a like, it helps us out in the algorithm so we can be spread to more people like a lovely,
like a plague.
Well, I was going to say something nice, like the pollen of a flower in spring. But yeah, we'll say
a plague.
If you want to support us and the content we've been making, go on over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. And as I said, get access to the Discord channel and the podcast, and it's great. Do it. It'd mean a lot. So that's it from me. That's probably it from you. Unless you've got anything else to say. Yeah, let's just roll out. I've been Henry. He's been Gaz. Bye for now.
Gotta catch them. Gotta catch some of them all. Gotta catch some of them. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
So you're slipping up because you want to say gotta catch them all, and it just doesn't work.
Now, where are they? Where are the rest of them? Gotta catch them all. My arse.